Happy Wednesday. Not happy in Minneapolis. We are covering everything. The breaking news, a woman was killed in an ICE-involved shooting. What exactly does that mean? The ICE agent said he feared for his life. Car came at him. They engaged. That's it. That's kind of what we know at this point. Am I correct, Ken? Did I get that right at this point in time? I know Ken's covering all this stuff. I think they're going to have a press conference in a little while, and we have no idea what any of this is. Like we were talking about, before Chris and I made the switch. Everybody runs out and wants to say, well, because it's DHS and is it a Somali? Is it this? We have no idea what any of this is. This could have been somebody who had a medical emergency. It could have been somebody who was there to go after ICE. It's also icy out there. It's not like here. Well, let's be honest. It's kind of nice today, isn't it? The only day. I said, my wife's like, you got to drive to work today. I'm like, why? You have to take Belle all this cat food. That's how bad it is for Belle right now.
Look, I've learned to like it. It doesn't taste as good as a steak, but I'll eat it. It's a lot of cat food, by the way. There's so much cat food. If you need cat food, I got it. Because my cat apparently only likes freshly killed things. He heard us talking about that $3 million tuna yesterday. He's like, I'll have a bit of that. So they're going to have, at some point in time, a press conference. And you got a lot of protesters out there. You got a lot of that stuff that you would expect. You got a lot of looky-loos. And what took place, again, we have no idea. Everybody wants to say it was this or it was that. It was this person. It was that person. No idea. I could not tell you what exactly took place because we were not there. And I'm sure there are cameras everywhere because it's a modern city. And in modern city and modern times, guess what, kids? There are cameras. And so we're going to, I'm sure, learn more in the coming, could be a few minutes. And if the press conference comes soon, maybe we'll jump into that a little bit. But a lot of stuff to get today. Obviously, we're taking over ships, so we got that going for us. So we got a Russian ship that was originally a Venezuelan ship, and they changed the name. And then we got another one, which, by the way, Venezuela. Now that we're selling now that we're reselling our oil, I got to get that right because it's confusing. Now that we're reselling our oil, they had nowhere to put their oil. Their oil's sitting on docks. They have nowhere to put it. There's no storage for it. So us getting rid of the oil is going to help them tremendously if indeed we do something. We may charge them. It's like we used to talk about with records, Bell, that, okay, we're going to give you $1 million, but you're going to pay us that $1 million before you get a penny back. And it's kind of the same thing. We wasted all the ammo, guns, time flying over there. So until we get our money back, we're going to keep it for ourselves. But I don't know. But what I do know is this, and here's some news for you that I don't know if everybody's talking about. The ship that is the Russian ship may not have been the oil we're looking for. Been told by a few people. These are not the barrels you're looking for.
These are not the barrels we're looking for. That there is a chance that there may have been weapons that the Russians tried to get to Venezuela at some point. And that may be one of the issues that they were so worried about when they came out. So that would be interesting. So, and this is all before we go after Greenland, which we're going to buy or not. We're doing it all, guys. This is it. This is a guy who has apparently decided that this whole thought process of being an isolationist wasn't exactly what he was thinking about. It was different. So this whole thing, like, I'm even laughing at the fact that if you guys have read the indictment, have you read the indictment? Has anybody read the indictment? It's a long indictment. There's no mention of fentanyl. They took away any of the stuff of him being a head of a cartel. And one of the big things they're going after him is going after him for gun laws. He's a Venezuelan citizen who's the president, and they're going after him for trying to procure guns.
They're charging him with U.S. gun crimes, and he wasn't even in the country.
That is so. Do you think when they were writing that down, they're like, this is going to make everybody who's smart laugh? They weren't even trying at that point in time. And he tried to buy machine. He wanted to buy a Tommy gun. That's about what they have, capable of getting, because they were the amount of stuff that Venezuela and the Venezuelans have been through is crazy. It is. It's crazy. And nothing has changed, though, for them. Nothing. People are on the streets. They're confused because they don't know who's running what. We didn't get rid of. It's funny. We're not into regime change, but we're also not in. We're not into regime. Well, what are we doing there? Because all we did was replace one bad guy with a bad chick.
Eric Holder was running guns to Mexican cartels, and he gets away with it.
Yeah.
And Maduro gets charged with U.S. gun crimes while he's in Venezuela.
Oliver, remember Oliver North? Oh, my Lord. It is crazy. But the tanker that we seized that was the one that wasn't in the Caribbean, okay, that one is the one that they think may have had weapons on it.
Has Russia complained yet?
Russia came out and they stomped their feet a little bit. And, but, and it's funny because I hear everybody say, well, this is really going to hurt China with all this oil being gone. You know how much oil that China gets from Venezuela? About 4%. Maybe 5%. They're not bothered. They're not. I mean, it's 4%, it's 5%. I mean, that's not nothing. I mean, if we all lost 5% of weight today, we'd be like, oh, that's pretty nice. But I mean, I could use that. My addiction to peanut butter is not helping. But it's not going to hurt them. They don't care.
They'll just up the coal usage.
Yeah. And the other side of it is too. Let's be honest. China's probably going, oh, so you guys are cool with this. So what if we decide we're going to go take Taiwan? The difference between Taiwan, because I hear a lot of people, here's the difference between Taiwan and China, which, can we all be honest? Do any of you really care about Taiwan?
Yes, there's a lot of cool toys made there.
That's the only reason you care about Taiwan or any of these nations is if it hurts you or helps you. You don't care about the people. Nobody does. Let's be real, right? You're not going to bed at night going, I can't sleep because of Taiwan. You don't care. You know what you would care about? All those chips stop. That's what you'd care about.
Well, we get a lot of Chinese food from Taiwan, too. So.
We do. You think that would be the end of Panda Express? People go out there and be angry at Panda Express?
Wouldn't help.
No, it wouldn't. But you can't. It doesn't matter. Taiwan's different also because we've armed them to the teeth and we've said, look, you're not going to defeat them in any way where you're going to go up against them in a tactical way. You need to be. They keep telling them too. Stop trying to buy sophisticated weapons. If it was ever to happen, you meet them and you turn it into their version of Vietnam. You make it hell for them everywhere. Right? That's what you have to do.
And we have such stupid policies because, we had the one China policy, but here's a bunch of weapons.
Yes.
We literally say that Taiwan is a part of China. And they were like, well, you can't invade them. Well, if it's part of China, it's not an invasion.
It's not. And we don't care. We don't. Well, it's about democracy. You don't care about democracy elsewhere. You care about whether or not it affects you. And China would affect you if they did that way more than we're going to affect them when it comes to the oil. Because those chips are more important. We're so far behind. And it wouldn't just affect us. It would be a global nightmare. Do you remember what happened? Was it 6 weeks, 8 weeks? People were having trouble getting chips. You couldn't buy anything because everything's run on chips. They were selling. My buddy who owns a big car dealership in Arizona, he goes, dude, I'm selling paper to people because we've got their truck, but it doesn't have any chips, so there's nothing I can do about it. It just sits there. We promise you'll get it eventually. Dishwashers, everything that you have. And it's funny, I think a lot of people think it's a chip, right? So it's like one chip in a car. It's like 1,600, 1,800 chips. So that would affect us way more. But they're not going to do it because it's also going to affect them. It would absolutely affect them. 100% because they have also big interest in those chips. And they understand that if they were to have a situation where there was an attack, do you think they're going to allow those chips to fall into hands. No, the first thing the Taiwanese would probably do is blow everything up. So that's you go scorched earth, and then they lose as well. And we are not building these factories, and we do not have the amount of people we need to break away from Taiwan. And that's also Taiwan's fear. Taiwan doesn't want to come over and help us grow their business here to the point where we don't care if they're protected. That would be ugly, though. But they're thinking about it. Just like we're thinking about going into Greenland, which is, again, bizarre. How do you think they're going to pitch it? It's going to be, so here's the deal. Trende Aragua Aquaman, his team has lived there. It's a bunch of Inuits, and they're selling snowballs. It's what we call, it's a new drug called snowballs. It's very dangerous, so we're going to have to go in and put an end to it.
They're wiping out all the penguins.
The penguins, they're dead. I care about the penguins. Oh, Lord. We're covering what's going on in Minneapolis. As far as we know, and the crowd is getting larger, it's an intersection. DHS is there, obviously. It's great for good press, all that kind of stuff. Going in there to get all the illegal Somalis or whatever that they're doing there. And somebody, according to the DHS officer, shot and killed somebody who tried to ram them or run them over. And that's all we know. It's a woman. She's dead. DHS officers said that they believed that they were in a situation where they feared for their life and it was going to be potentially dangerous for others. So that person took action. And we have no idea if it was on purpose, if it was bad weather, because it's icy there, man.
Or just a bad female driver.
Or, again, I said it earlier, but I just want to remind everybody that's also Bell that says that. Because Chris said, well, what if it was a Somali woman? I'm like, they don't let Somali women drive. That's not Sharia of them. So I don't think, we have no idea. It could have been a 90-year-old woman had a heart attack. Could have been somebody with a medical. It could have been the ice. Man, those roads look a little treacherous compared to I had to weather the storm to get here today of 60-some degrees outside and sunny. But they're going to have a press conference in the next 10, 15 minutes. And Cam will take some of that live to find out exactly what they're saying. I doubt we're going to get a ton. And remember, there's going to be a lot of things said. It was this person, it was that person. They were doing this. We have no idea. And I don't I'm one of those people that, don't jump out there and run and go, oh, it's absolutely the thing that happened. You've no idea. Because, as even Chris said, you got to reserve the right to be, wrong. Because the misinformation is so tremendous out there. It is so big.
Pretty sure she was a narco-terrorist.
Oh, yeah. She was part of the group. She was part of Trende Aragua. She was coming to get us. She was a Dane, and she was trying to stop us from taking and stopping the snowballers. That's all they do in Denmark, because it's partly the Danes and mostly Greenland, which is ours, as you know. That's our snow.
Got to prevent a red light district in Greenland.
30,000 people there. Again, just throw a flag up and say it's ours. Who's going to stop you? That's all you have to say. Okay. All right, coming up, a lot of stuff. We're going to have fun today, too, because that's kind of what we do. We'll keep an eye out on this and Russia if we apparently start some sort of bizarre war over that. But it is One Hit Wonder Wednesday. It's the first One Hit Wonder of the year, and I'm pumped and ready for it. I go, Bell, do you know who your One Hit Wonder is today? And he goes, and he's looking at all these. He goes, because he's got to go super obscure. You mentioned somebody. I had no idea who you mentioned. I'm like, I know that you've not mentioned that group or song. But he goes, I don't know if I've done this one before. I'm like, oh, trust me, you haven't.
I didn't pick that one.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
No, I got a different one.
What was that one? Edison Lightship?
No, Edison Lighthouse with Love Grows.
There you go. See, no idea. No idea. He finds the weirdest, bestest ones of all. And mine is, I'll tell you, mine may be, it's one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time. Maybe number 1. It's incredible.
You got yours ready to go, Ken?
I do indeed, boys.
Okay. I know Ken's been busy. What do we know? Anything, Ken? Any breaking news? Anything new?
No, nothing new. Just one person dead after an ICE agent opened fire.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we know. So we'll find out what it's like. We got White Woman Wednesday. Oh, God, she's on I sent them all something yesterday. You guys will be happy to know she got into grad school, Kylie.
Her face annoys me.
She got into grad school. She did.
At White?
No. Different. She's going to the University of Penn. So congratulations to her. So she got into grad school. It's good to know that she is also going. I was surprised she didn't try to get into a historically black college.
Because she identifies as black.
She identifies as anything but white. All right, we got that. CES, I got a hilarious CES. That's a Consumer Electronics Show. And some more bizarre lawsuits, including I don't even know how to explain the ex-husband, football player, and his wife that are suing each other. It is spectacular. Chad Bench, Super Talk 997. Bulwark Capital has got an opportunity for you to get a free risk review on your portfolio. Think of it as a second opinion. This was an opportunity to have somebody take a look at your portfolio, your retirement, your investments, see how things are going. Is there an AI bubble? Is there a situation where we're completely overbought in certain areas and there are other opportunities globally? They're going to show you what they're all about. Value investing is their number one thing, and risk management. Lower risk, lower cost, give you the most upside potential. It's absolutely free. All you got to do is sign up for it. It's a Know Your Risk portfolio review. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com. Sign up today for their Know Your Risk portfolio review. Let them show you what they're all about and why they did so well for the last several years and why they're continuing to do well. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com for Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Investment involved risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 26351.
Federal agents opened fire during an immigration sweep in Minneapolis. This story and more coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 997 WTN.
Man, it's all happening. We get on every time we get here, it starts to happen.
I was just telling Brother Bilal, I hate it when things like this happen.
I know.
I can't have fun.
That's all we're doing is we're fun today.
It's absolutely 100% news, but you have so little information to impart.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
like,
thing.
what do you say?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like what we always talk about, how fluid these situations are in this day and age. Social media erupts as it's happening.
Yes.
And you've just got chaos, and you've got rumors, and you've got reports. And so as a newsman, I have to say, okay, so there are reports of one person shot during an immigration operation in Minneapolis. We've now gotten to the point where we've gotten to the point now where one person is dead after a border agent opened fire. Now what you've got going on is now you have protesters who are now showing up to the scene. And we're just waiting for some sort of official confirmation and on details of what actually happened.
Yeah, and people don't want to wait.
No, they don't.
You know, somebody just texts and says, you should be the next host on The View. It's about time they start shooting the a-holes. It's crazy what they have to deal with. Have you watched anything lately? Well, first of all, they make sure that you only see the craziest of the crazy. And secondly, you just already, so you know everything that happened. Well, why don't you hold the press conference, tell everybody who this person was and all of that? How many times have we said, oh, it's this person or it's that person? This person shot Charlie Kirk. This person did this. And it's never that. It isn't. And then we also, no offense, but I don't always believe everything that I'm even being told, even if they say it was this, this, and this, because then you come to find out later, well, it wasn't always that. There's not even nuance in some cases. It's just blatant lies. I don't know what's going on. Nobody does. Nobody does.
The ICE agents on the scene know what happened.
Yeah.
And maybe a witness, but even the witness doesn't know exactly what happened.
No. And not only that, but the ICE agent knew that there was somebody coming.
Yes.
Who that person was, why it happened. Could it have been black ice? It's possible. It's freezing there. There's snow everywhere. Could it have been somebody who had a medical emergency? Absolutely. Could it have been, as this person put it, an a-hole that effed around and found out? 100%. But to say, okay, here it is, go with it, that's insane. And I guarantee you can go on Twitter right now and you can find people that have already solved the mystery, right?
Yeah.
They've solved it. They don't need to know anything else, right? No, I don't. I'd like to know the truth. I know some people want affirmation. That ain't us, kids. That ain't us. We're having fun today, too. You know, we're going to find out more about this later. They're going to hold a press conference when that is happening. It was supposed to be at noon, but these things, again, fluid situations.
And we can be certain the government would tell us 100% truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get the meat and potatoes here.
No.
We're going to get a broad statement. But the details will not be in this. They never are in these initial press conferences.
They're going to bring up the constable, the traffic cop, the cop that, the DHS spokesperson. They're going to bring up all of the people who all introduce themselves. Jacob Fry, the mayor, will probably be there. They'll all talk for 30 seconds, pat each other on the back, give out their information, spell their name for everybody. And then, like you said, it'll be person was shot. And that's it.
Yeah. The only officials I want to hear from right now, I want to hear ICE. That's who I want to hear from right now as to what happened. Everything else is ancillary. Everything else will be narrative. Right now, we know that ICE was involved. ICE shot and killed a woman. We need to hear from ICE. I don't need to hear from people who are upset that ICE is there. We know that. I need to hear from ICE. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, that's it. Well, no, Ken, you need to know the story now, and you need to tell it. And even if it's wrong, nobody cares. That's what I've learned is just tell everybody what they want to hear, and even if it's all wrong. It's like 1984. Remember 1984?
Yeah.
Remember the Ministry of Plentiful or whatever, where they told everybody they were giving them more chocolate, and it was supposed to be they were getting 30 rations, and now they were going to get 20. and they convinced everybody that 20 was more than 30 and that they should thank him. People just want to be affirmed. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We're doing it, right? Because we need to, because this isn't going anywhere. And this seems like it's going to take a while before they get up to the old podium here. So the update will be coming soon, and we'll have more on this.
I don't even see a podium
No,
yet.
I don't see one either. So who knows? Maybe might be inside, might be too cold. They might want to get it away from there just in case there's some chaos. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening. We'll have the latest on that. But One Hit Wonder Wednesday. It's the first one of the year. Straight ahead. Chad Ben Show. Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We're tracking the potential for some strong storms that could go severe on Friday. We'll tell you more about it during the full forecast in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, federal immigration agents were involved in a deadly shooting in South Minneapolis this morning. ICE says an officer fired after a woman allegedly tried to ram agents with her vehicle during a large-scale operation. The woman was killed. 2 officers were injured. Agents were injured, but are expected to recover. The incident under investigation by federal and local authorities, and we are waiting on a press conference. We're not sure who's going to be conducting the press conference, but we're waiting for some sort of official statement on this before the media. Meanwhile, the U.S. has taken control of 2 more oil tankers from Venezuela. Tanker 1, the Marinera, formerly known as Bella 1, a Russian-flagged vessel, was seized in the North Atlantic after a weeks-long chase and legal warrant enforcement. Tanker 2, the Sophia, a stateless dark fleet tanker intercepted in the Caribbean, estimated to be carrying 2 million barrels of Venezuelan crude. And in our nation's capital, Trump aides have briefed members of Congress on the strategy for Venezuela. This is Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
First alert meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. Dense fog to start off our day today. Temperatures in the 60s this afternoon, mixing clouds and sunshine. Tonight we'll fall down to the 40s. A lot of cloud cover for our day tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower. Most of us are dry in the 60s. Breezy tomorrow. Winds between 20 and 30 miles per hour. Friday's the first alert weather day because of the risk of strong to severe thunderstorms and heavy rainfall. Storms will start off isolated in the morning, get more widespread through the afternoon, evening, and into the overnight.
Beacon Capital Management is awesome. I want you to write this number down, 615-488-9303. Yes, they do all things when it comes to your finances, investing, everything, but they also do things like taxes. Taxes is a big deal this year. You want to make sure you get everything done right, and they can help you with that. There are plenty of new things in the One Big Beautiful, very big, for you to handle, right? So some really interesting stuff, but there are certain restrictions and things you have to understand. That includes if you're over 65. Another deduction opportunity for you, but you got to take advantage of it, and you got to know how to do it, and that's what they do. They've got long-term care that they can help you with, and that is important too, especially as people get a little longer in the tooth. And then let's not forget about things like estate planning and, investing and everything else. Why don't you get a free, absolutely free consultation with them? They're local. You sit down and talk with them. Beacon Capital Management, 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303, or online at beaconcm.com. This is a paid placement.
Dun, 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 na, na, na. I guess they're doing the usual stuff right now. Are you taping this? We're running some audio on Mayor Jacob Frey. Fry? Is it Fry or Frey? I would go Fry.
Fry. Yeah, but he's not who I need to hear from.
Yeah.
He's just going to bitch about ICE being there.
In fact, I don't see any DHS there at all.
No.
All I see is the locals.
No.
So I want to hear, like you said, I want to hear from ICE, which is good. They're not there because now we can move on to something that is fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages. It's one of our favorite things we do, and we are not getting rid of it. It's One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
Now it's time for another edition of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You may not remember the name of the band, but you definitely know the song. This is One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
All right. We know it's not Edison Lighthouse or whatever it is, so let's find out what weird song Bell picked today.
The band Silver. They peaked at number 16 with a song that the label forced them to record because they did not hear any hits on the album of music that they had written. So this became their only hit. And again, it was...
What year was this?
I just forgot. 76.
Oh, a great year.
76.
Okay, let's hear it. Silver. With some... Oh, look at that.
And again, they had the label force it on them. And I've seen that happen where they just listen to the record and go, there's no hits here, guys. You got to record something else. And it gave them their only hit.
I wonder if that pissed them off.
I was wondering. I've never seen a band have that happen where they weren't irritated to some degree.
Yeah, I would expect that to be. Yeah, and you also have to think about it too, because they trusted you enough to sign you to a record deal. Then you give them stuff they don't like. Then they bring in their own people as if, you guys know what you're doing here. These guys will get you across the line, and that's got to suck.
But then there was no second single because they didn't believe any of the other songs on the record would be hits.
There you go. So no second single. Silver, ladies and gentlemen, a band I've never heard of. That's why you were.
That's Brother Below, man.
That's the man right there.
He's the Beltanica of music.
The Beltanica of music.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ken, what you got for us today?
Adina Howard, frequently regarded as a
Yeah, I remember the thing with Warren G.
That's got to sting so bad, too, when you get to number 2 on 2 different charts.
Yeah.
And you can't get to number 1.
That's got to super suck. Yeah. Well, yeah, let's hear it. That's a good one. It's a solid one right there. T-shirt and panties.
It was pre-titled, I Got No.
I see a theme with her. I think she's selling sexy. Do we feel this? I think she's selling the hotness, the sexiness. No panties. She's a freak. When you get to number 1, Bell, did they give you anything for that, the record company?
Sometimes they would, but 9 times out of 10, it was It was sales related plaques because when you did that, you had to include so many people. You would end up making 800 plaques, and they were $80 a pop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it
wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it unless it was a really big hit, and you were so behind the band that you knew you were going to have the money rolling in, or it already was rolling in.
Oh,
because the band ends up paying for the plaques anyway.
No, they're not. Just like when you go, people don't realize you win an Emmy and an Oscar and all these things, you pay for that. Those aren't free. They take that thing away from you. Yeah. So, you've got to make sure that you pay for that. My buddy he's won 2 Emmys. He got off the stage the first time and he does it behind the scenes and they took it away from him. Like, what? He goes, oh no, you got to buy these.
Well, and it's also it's not common knowledge that when you're nominated, first you have to campaign to be nominated. Then you have to campaign to try to win. You're literally out there trying to buy votes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You do not just sit back and wait for the count. You're out there going, hey, what do I need to do to get your vote?
It's like football, Ken, when you're trying out, they lobby for their guy to be the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, mine comes from a trio of lads from Dundee, which is a town in Scotland, which, like, a lot of it is kind of crappy. They put together their band. They got signed. They're the first band, I think, signed by Virgin US. The name of the band, Spencer Tracy. They said, no, you can't be Spencer Tracy because that's a human being. And they said, honest to goodness, you guys have 60 seconds to come up with something. And they said, okay, how about something from one of Sinatra's movie? We'll call ourselves Danny Wilson. So in 1987, Danny Wilson, nobody in the band's named Danny Wilson. Gary Clark writes part of this song, right? Comes up with it.
Vaguely remember this.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting. So he writes part of the song, can't figure out what it's all about. And then he puts it aside. A year later, he hears Karma Chameleon and he writes the rest of the song. And these guys were very smooth, kind of got a jazz feel. It was their only hit. It got to number 28 here, but number 3 in Britain. It was released 3 times. This band, though, on polls, it is the number 1 song that people recognize, and it's the number 1 song that nobody has any idea who this band is. And it was massive. It's been on and anytime there's a look back from an 80s movie, this song is in there. Danny Wilson, Mary's Prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Be so careless. When I was Mary's Prayer.
Oh, yeah.
This song is so awesome. It's in every 80s movie just about.
Oh, yes.
And everybody thinks it's Simple Minds, or they think it's Simply Red.
Yeah, Simply Red, definitely.
They think it's anybody but these guys.
Yeah.
And they're making money off of it. Still friends, by the way. They just said diminishing returns, so we broke the band up. Save me, be the light in my eyes. The interesting thing is,
They did MTV play, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All kinds. But they said diminishing returns. They're still friends. He went on to write like all of Natalie and Brullier's music and stuff. He does all this. But the whole thing is about, everybody thinks it's about a girl that he lost. And he goes, it's not about a singular girl. It's about living life with regret, but not because you regret you missed out, but because you were so focused on all of these other things in life that you didn't notice that one thing. It's not, and Mary just happened to be it. Be the light in my eyes. I will say, if I was stuck on an island with just 5 songs, this would be one of my songs. It's just great. And I've seen them do this. They did it live a couple times since then where they've reunited. And it's just awesome. But
and it has, I'm telling you, there's something about 80s music out of Europe that it just, you can tell immediately that it's 80s. There's just a sound.
There is.
A groove to it.
There is. There was.
And this is 80s all the way.
Oh, all the way. And you could see, like, I'm picturing John Cusack walking down a hall,
Yeah.
right, looking for Jennifer Connelly or, something like that.
And I'm picturing John Tesh behind the Entertainment Tonight desk.
Save me, save me. And this was part of that, like, it wasn't new wave. They called it new romantic, like Spandau Ballet. And
Oh, yeah.
Haircut
Spandau
100.
Ballet. Oh,
But
Haircut 100.
phenomenal band. Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So that right there is the amazing Danny Wilson. And there's nobody named Danny in the band. And because they couldn't be called Spencer Tracy with their one and only hit. So it's Mary's Prayer. Ooh, I can listen to it all day. Be the light in my eyes. That guy's voice is so cool. Because when you hear him talk, you have no idea what he's saying. He's like, don't let it in the light, dude. And then he starts singing. You're like, oh, wow, that's amazing.
That's right.
What I wouldn't say.
Yeah, he's going out of his way to have an American accent when he sings.
They all did. They wanted to have that neutral accent. The Clash did. The Punks didn't. They wanted the I am.
Definitely.
But when the new wave came in, they wanted to have that neutralish accent. So cool. Mary's Prayer. So my song's awesome. Ken's is all about sex. And then, of course, Belle found some song that nobody but one person goes, who the hell's that band? You might have even been making that up, dude. We don't even know at this point.
16 on the chart.
16.
Charted all the way up to
16.
16. So it was a top 20 hit. Big hit.
Top 20 hit. 16. And that was it. They got rid of him. They said, Silver, we don't like you. Who was the record company? It's like
Arista, so it was Clive Davis forcing it on them.
Forcing it on him. And it was probably one of Clive's buddies who wrote the song.
Well, it was written by a country writer named Rick Giles, I believe it is. And Clive listened to the album, I'm sure, and said, there's no hits on here, and told one of his A&R guys, go find them a hit.
Yeah, go find him a hit, right? We need a hit. I spent money on these fools. Fools, I say. All right, coming up, we'll have the latest on what's taking place in Minneapolis. There was a shooting today. An ICE officer, DHS, shot a woman that he said was trying to run them down or something. We don't know anything other than that. They're having a press conference, but this is just the local police and the mayor. But we'll find out no DHS press conference yet, I see, and I'm sure that'll come later on today. So we'll figure it out. Ooh, there's some squabbling going on CNN, too, so that's kind of crazy. A lot of good stuff still in the way. Chad Benson,
It's a white guy.
What?
It's a white guy.
It is a white. You know what? Kylie's right. She's right. It's white people. You people know who you are. We'll do some White Woman Wednesday coming up in a little bit. Because guess what? I got a theme song for us. Oh, yeah. White Woman Wednesday theme song. Get ready for that. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. Relief Factor. Let them help you out with Relief Factor. And let me tell you something about Relief Factor that's amazing. So many people write in about Relief Factor. They take it. They're like, okay, what is it? Well, it's 100% natural, right? It is got omega-3s and it's got resveratrol. My wife takes it. She has perimenopause. She has problems with her joints and inflammation. And I used to get home and the struggle that she would have was so tremendous at times because of her inflammation, and she would have to eat certain special things. Relief Factor has changed all that stuff for Steph. It is amazing what it has done for her. It's given her a whole new lease on life. When I come home, she's still active and smiling, which is awesome. If you struggle with aches and pains in your joints, especially when it comes to your muscles, try Relief Factor. Watch what it'll do for you. It takes about a week or two, but you're going to feel a difference. So $19.95, less than a cup of coffee a day, 3-week quick start. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com, or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 1-800, the number 4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
All right, guys, the weather starts to turn, and it's going to. It's going to get cold. Next thing you know, you're going to have some issues. Pipes may freeze. Ooh, you don't want that. And all of a sudden, there's some leaks somewhere, then the rains come, and then get ahead of it with United Structural Systems, right? If you worry about cracks in your basement, right, and then snow comes and then it melts, and then the next thing you've got water in places that you didn't know because you can't see, and all of a sudden, wood rot, mold. This is why you need United Structural Systems. They're going to come out. They're giving you a free inspection. They got 30-plus years in the business, 30,000 happy customers. They're not going to sell you anything you do not need. They're there to help, period, and they guarantee their best. So if you do worry about water somewhere that you can't see, whether it be in the basement somewhere, you've got structural issues, let them come out and give you that free inspection. Call them today, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or check them out online at ussTN.com.
A woman is dead after a knife's agent opened fire during an immigration raid in Minneapolis this morning. We've got that story and much more covering Venezuela and new healthy food guidelines from the White House. That's at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, you guys ready for the new White Woman Wednesday song?
Oh, I can't wait.
I called my friends over at Blink 182 today, and except for they couldn't get a hold of them, so I went to the Temu version of them.
Is this AI?
No, it's my band, dude. It's my house band. You didn't know I had a house band?
If it's AI, I can put it back in the feed.
It's all AI. Yeah, I mean, everything it's AI. So it's White Woman Wednesday. I've got 3 more of these we'll test out a little bit later, so be prepared for that. Your first of your White Woman Wednesday. And boys and girls, it wouldn't be White Woman Wednesday unless we talk to our girl. You know her as Kylie. She's going to tell us all why we have the Confederacy to blame for MAGA. Yeah, it's nuts. She does things. She's going to Penn, by the way.
MAGA didn't start in 2016. It started when the Confederacy lost the Civil War. The American government's failure to properly punish the Confederacy is the sole reason that we have such extreme authoritarianism in the U.S. and a lot of signs of fascism here. Because there was a lot of discontentment among white people after they lost the Civil War, similar to the way in Germany there was a lot of discontentment there after losing World War I. That animosity that led them to create a war to continue to own human beings, that hatred has continued to grow and grow unchecked until it finally culminated in the rise of Trump. It could have honestly been any average white guy that said that in the same way that in Germany, again, just some guy started saying like things that appealed to all of their hatred. Also, I wanted to say Trump was not inevitable, but MAGA certainly was. Fascism in America certainly was inevitable. And unfortunately, the people being scapegoated here are immigrants and other people of color versus Jewish people in Germany. But it is the same exact process, although less severe in the U.S., it's the same.
There you guys go. So MAGA, Confederacy. Here's the one thing I disagree with, besides all the other things I disagree with. The punishment of Germany after World War I led to the rise of what ended up being Hitler and everything. And because everybody, Germany was the scapegoat. And the second thing, and this is very important, she's insane.
So is she blaming MAGA on Abraham Lincoln or Andrew Johnson?
Both, actually. Both. Because they didn't punish the South enough. Just like apparently they should have punished Germany more. I'm not quite, she doesn't know, but she's having fun telling everybody what to do. And she does that because, quite frankly,
It's White Woman Wednesday.
that's right, White Woman Wednesday. You know it. All right, coming up, we're going to have the latest on the
She
shooting.
went to Brown, you dummy.
Oh, that's right. But in her defense, she's awful. I kid. We're going to find out more. The mayor of Minneapolis is he's throwing down some bad language.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know what happened.
No, he doesn't. He says he's seen the video, but I don't know if that's true. So, we're going to get an update on that and so much more straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 9 and 7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Tell you about this potential for severe weather at the end of the week. And a woman is dead after an ICE officer opened fire during an immigration raid in Minneapolis this morning. Officials say she used her car as a weapon and injured 2 agents before being shot. The shooting happened during what the Department of Homeland Security calls its largest operation in Minnesota. ABC's Luke Barr says Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was in Minneapolis earlier to oversee this operation.
Minneapolis, of course, is a hotbed of ICE activity in the coming days, and certainly we had the Secretary visit ICE and its operations there in Minneapolis just yesterday.
Yeah, local leaders, the mayor just held a lengthy press conference, and he blames the ICE agents for being reckless, and he is demanding that ICE leave Minneapolis. U.S. military seizing 2 oil tankers linked to Venezuela in separate operations today. One vessel, the Marinera, captured in the North Atlantic after a 2-week chase and is accused of violating U.S. sanctions. The second is the Sofia. It was intercepted in the Caribbean, carrying an estimated 2 million barrels of crude. Officials say the actions are part of a global crackdown on illicit oil shipments that violate U.S. sanctions. And after briefing members of Congress about the future U.S. role in Venezuela, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke briefly to the press. He said the U.S. has already seen progress in its dealings with Venezuela since U.S. military, the raid that captured and removed Nicolas Maduro and his wife there.
Step 1 is the stabilization of the country. We don't want it descending into chaos. Part of that stabilization, and the reason why we understand and believe that we have the strongest leverage possible, is our quarantine. As you've seen today, 2 more ships were seized.
Trump administration touting new dietary guidelines that it says will promote better health and lower health care costs for Americans. Here's Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
When these guidelines are followed, Americans will be saving themselves thousands of dollars. If we want to cut healthcare costs in our country, we must become a healthier country.
She says these guidelines steer funding for school lunch programs and SNAP. The plan puts a larger emphasis on whole milk and cheese as well as red meats. Meanwhile, Dr. Mehmet Oz, the administrator for Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, says alcohol guidelines have changed, now recommending limiting consumption of alcoholic beverages.
Alcohol is a social lubricant that brings people together. In the best case scenario, I don't think you should drink alcohol, but it does allow people an excuse to bond and socialize, and there's probably nothing healthier than having a good time with friends in a safe way.
These guidelines serve as the foundation, again, for influential federal nutrition programs, school lunches, military meals, SNAP, WIC. They'll be phased in over the next 2 years. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So we're covering the shooting in Minneapolis. A woman was shot and killed by ICE. I've seen the video, but then you think, is that the real video? But I think it is the real video. I have seen the video of the shooting. And, well, I'll give you my take here in a second. This is the mayor, Jacob Fry.
They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is this was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed.
So, I saw the video, and you can see it, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to describe it, online. You don't see the person get hit. And again, you've always prefaced things like this because, you think the first thing you think of is this AI, because AI is prevalent. But it looks like it's a real thing. And I'll just quickly describe it because it looks like a DHS car parked in the middle of a suburb street, and there's a couple cops getting out of a car, and it's not even a car. It's the car that the person was driving is like an SUV, and that they try to open the doors and they tell her to get out of the blanket car. You can't even see who it is. Get out of the blanket car. I got to use don't want to get everybody mad. Use the language. And then as the person backs up, they said, "What are you guys doing?" And then she starts to go forward, and we know it's a woman, and they shoot her. So if you're on the right, you're going to be, you got what you got. You shouldn't have done what you did. If you're on the left, you're going to say it was ridiculous. I don't know what led to that before. I don't know if something happened prior to this. I have no idea. So have you seen the video, Ken? Have you seen it?
I'm looking at it right now.
It's a hard thing for me to say that person felt like they were going to, that they didn't try to do something. They tried to get away more than I think they tried to run that person over.
He's just a bad female driver.
So it's also that possibility. And like I said, I don't know if that person tried to run people over prior to that. Because remember, you see a snippet of something that happens.
Yeah, the video I'm looking at does not show everything.
No, and that's just it. So,
however, I do see where this vehicle took off. There are two agents in its path.
Yeah, see, I can't. And how many videos are out there right now already? So, I see one in my side. The one I see, there is one agent. It kind of in the front left, the driver's side, like in front of it.
Yeah.
But they could put their hands out and move. It's not like the person's going 50 miles an hour. They had backed up slowly. And then one shot looks like it went through the driver's window, and I think there were several that went through the window that was open. And they said that person was killed, obviously died on the scene. Video shows a woman driving away from the officer, not trying to ram him. That's what the mayor of Minneapolis said. And I don't, I don't know what led up to that. See, that's the other thing. Could that person have driven through an area they were not supposed to be in, tried to ram other people? And you're like, oh, okay. Because we see, Ken and I always talk about this, Bell and I always talk about this. You see 10 seconds of something that might have been 10 minutes.
Yeah, we don't know what was happening before. All we see is the moment she backs up and then lurches forward, and that's all we see.
Yeah. And like I said, if you're on the right and you think that you're going to think automatically that person had it coming. If you're on the left, that person wasn't doing anything. And the nuance of life, do I think that she was going to kill anybody? No. I don't. I think the cops would have stepped out of the way. But that being said, you put yourself in that position that you shouldn't have been in. Why are you in that position? What did you do to get there? That's what I want to know. What led up to it? And we don't know that. So, and the mayor, of course, is going to say, get out of here, as he did. Get out of here, leave, blah, and all this. You're horrible. You're tearing families apart. You're doing all these.
He's pandering.
Yeah, of course. That's what they all do. That's what they all do. And at least Tim Walz had the guts that everybody needs to calm down. Let's get the story first, because he doesn't want there to be chaos, and you're starting to see that. What you're starting to see now is a bunch of people gathering in an area, that's a worry thing. Because it only takes one idiot, as we all know, for things to go sideways.
That's right.
They got one idiot earlier. They kicked that guy out of there, though. But now there's police as well as DHS, and we haven't heard from DHS yet. I don't think, have they even released a statement?
Christine Ohm was taking questions.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Where? Not at that place.
No,
though.
not at the place.
I was going to say.
She was this. I don't know where that was, or even when that was.
Yeah. So I haven't seen anything about her taking a. Somebody said, I haven't seen the video yet, but all your qualifications describing the event make me think the police overreacted. I think some people out there will think, that feels like a bit if you're an honest person, and this was, and to yourself, where you're not thinking about it in the political realm, and this was just somebody they pulled over, you would probably say, they may have gone too far, because politics are involved.
Well, and I feared for my life is used as a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it says this report I've got, it says Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin says the person, quote, weaponized her vehicle in an attempted murder, prompting the ICE officer to fire in self-defense.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be lawsuits, and there's going to be all kinds of things that come out of this. Both sides are going to go and stand their ground, if you will, for lack of a better term. If you believe that the cops can do anything they want to do, and you believe them 100%, yeah. Then they had every right. If you say to yourself, it might be a little bit of an overreaction. I don't know. I don't know what led up to it. That's the other side of it. Everybody wants the story. They want the ending of the story. They don't want to hear all of the story. So, and I'm just worried now, is it going to devolve into some chaos?
Well, everybody's going to watch this video, and they're going to come to their own conclusion.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, you don't even need to see the video. You already have your conclusion.
A lot of people do, yes.
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. You don't even have to see a video to come to your conclusion that she was guilty or innocent, and either it was an overreaction or she got what she deserved. Because it has nothing to do with reality. It has all to do with your political beliefs, which is a sad place to be. It is. It is a sad place. And it's a horrible situation. Because you know what? That DHS guy's got to live with that. Or gal. I don't want to leave anybody out. And that person has to live with that. And this person who was killed, well, their family's got to live with the pain of what happened. And again, why? Why did you get yourself in that position? How did you get yourself into that position?
Why did she speed away?
Why? And my thing is, why is there, because when you look at it and you see, Ken, I know what side you saw it from, there's a car that's like in the middle of the street that looks like it's a DHS vehicle. It's like a black SUV. Was she being chased? And they were trying to slow her down? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible situation. It is. So, I mean, you guys are going to make up your own minds. And I'm sure there's going to be more videos. There's going to be videos from the police cameras. There's going to be video. I'm sure there's some Ring doorbells where people aren't home and it happened in front of their house.
Yeah, this looks like a middle-class neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like this isn't a poorer area, a low-income area.
Yeah,
This is a middle-class neighborhood.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's not like you said, it's not a poor, it's just a regular suburb. This isn't the ghetto, if you will. So, and it's a horrible situation. And now, you've got to try to calm everybody down. And again, everybody's, I've seen it. Well, when you see it, are you going into it with an open mind saying, okay, I want to know what really happened? Or are you going into it if you're like Jacob Fry of Minneapolis, where even if she had a tank and tried to run one of them over, it was never going to be enough justification for what they did. And for people out there on the right, if, she was lost on the street and they shot her, there was never justification. So it's a sad thing. Yeah, do what the cops say. But what led up to that? That's my thing. Because you just don't put yourself in that position. Something had to have happened that led up to that. And, of course, they're out there. I don't know how many people they've arrested today. The woman, they said, police chief said, very concerning that a woman blocking traffic and not the subject of any law enforcement operation was shot. That's the police chief.
Yeah. We need for ICE we need a press conference from ICE or somebody in DHS.
Yeah.
We need for that to happen. I am seeing so many conflicting reports, even in the mainstream.
Yes. Yeah.
As to what people are saying and what they're not saying. The only thing I know for sure is what the mayor just said.
That's it. That's the only thing. That's it. I don't know anything other than that. And as I said earlier, the time that Chris had left today, I said he was covering it early, and there was nothing out there about it, outside of just the report that something had happened. And it makes you think that somebody was driving fast, like you see in the Christmas, when they markets where they try to drive and run people over. It made it sound like that. To now it's a lady that was in the road and she was trying to back up, and they were telling her to get out of the car, and then she tried to drive away. And he said he feared for his life. So
yeah, all we have from DHS is a statement. We have Fox News is reporting on a statement from the Department of Homeland Security that rioters began blocking ICE officers. One of the rioters allegedly attempted to, quote, weaponize her vehicle to hit law enforcement officials in what they described as an act of domestic terrorism. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers, according to the agency.
There you go. And that's there. And
that's what we got to go on.
That's what we got to go on. Those are the things we got to go on. We're going to be covering this later. If they go live, DHS, at some point in time and have a, more of an update, then we'll get that out to you. But that's what we have at this moment in time. And now you've got the police force saying, no, this lady was doing nothing but blocking traffic. She wasn't part of any of this stuff. And so the conflicting battle of reports comes. And like everything in life, people want black and white. And what do we always talk about? Mostly it's gray.
Life is always gray.
Always gray. All right, coming up, a lot of other stuff to get to. We're going to be covering this. We've got more on what's happening. We've got some new ships in our armada. We've taken over.
Slightly used, but
Slightly used, yeah. One of them is slightly used. Changed their name. We'll talk a bit about that. We got more White Woman Wednesday and a bunch of other stuff, including CES, which is a consumer electronics show. There's a couple things out there, one of which is brilliant that I think so many people should get. It's especially
sex doll.
No, there was a lot of those. Oh, they debuted some of those things, and they're not that. They're companion dolls. They're companion dolls, Bill. God, it's always with him with that. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Bulwark Capital wants to talk to you about what's going on in your investment world. They do a lot of different things when it comes to that. They're active managers. They invest globally, and it's amazing. Last year, they were almost 40% plus and have done really well. And it's not just America. They're all over, and they're looking for value investing. That's how they do it. Lower risk, lower cost, right? Risk management. and use the fundamentals of value investing to get you the most that they can. They want to give you a free second opinion on your portfolio. Show you maybe where you're getting some fees and stuff taken out that's eating into it, or maybe that you are in a position where you want to be with your retirement. You're not going to get there because you're not, or you're running the risk of maybe losing it all. And it doesn't hurt to learn a little bit more. So why don't you do this? Sign up for your free Know Your Risk portfolio review. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com. That's knowyourriskpodcast.com, and sign up for this today. It's the Know Your Risk portfolio review from our friends at Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment for all risk, not a guarantee. Past performance not guarantee future results. Trek 26351.
Federal officials say an ICE officer shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis today. The U.S. has seized 2 oil tankers it says were linked to Venezuela. And members of the Trump administration have briefed Congress on the U.S. strategy for Venezuela. Got a report on that. Trump administration also touting new dietary guidelines that will promote better health, they say. All that and more 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So they took the pyramid and then they turned it upside down. That's pretty much it. That's that. There you go. More, what is it? Less junk food, by the way. It's always sure. Do we really need a pyramid? When's the last time you're like, hold on a second? Like, I got to look at my pyramid to make sure I'm eating the right food. Hey, none of us do that.
I remember those were fun to color in the 3rd grade.
They were fun to color in the 3rd grade. Those were very fun to color. Remember, they had, okay, I'm looking at, I've got the new video from Another Side.
Okay.
And it was, again, do I think it's a bit much? Yeah. She wasn't coming at 90 miles an hour, and he could have stepped out of the way. That being said, if you are, and I'd like to hear some cops out there, shoot us a text. That's probably a bad word, but it is what it is. Let us know. Would you have just unleashed on this? this situation. And what they did was he was in the front, by the front of the wheel, and she started to come, and she never got more than 2 or 3 miles an hour because she was stopped originally. So, and then they shot her. I don't know how many times they shot her, but they shot her through the side window. I think were probably the ones that did the most damage.
You definitely get at least I get the feeling there's a little bit of, how dare you ignore my authority going on there.
Yeah. So this is, here's Kristi Noem. Let's see what she has to say about this. And again, I want to make sure that we're pulling this stuff up here as these things are, as we'd like to say in the business, fluid situations.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
So domestic terrorism is what they're calling it. So, and have we got any names of the person? I haven't seen any.
No, not that I've seen.
So we don't know if she was involved with the group, if she was, somebody that made a wrong turn or whatever. But according to Kristi Noem, she was part of a domestic terror situation. And she FA'd FO'd.
Yeah, we don't know who this woman is.
No. It's, and there, again, there's several different, because there was so much going on already there, because this is all in response to the Somali fraudsters that were led by white people, by the way. But this is all in response to that.
I'm trying to read the lettering on one of the officers' vests, and it says police. But I don't know if that's Minneapolis police or if that's just one of the border agents that has police on the vest.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, because there's so many people because when I saw from the first angle, you've got people who are wearing all black, and then you've got people who get out of another vehicle that are obviously law enforcement, and they're in that tan, that CHIPS. Remember CHIPS?
You've got local police, you've got DHS, you've got ICE, and you've got Border Patrol, and any of them could have been anywhere at any time.
Yes, correct. So, and the whole thing's horrible. I mean, we can all agree that the fact that if that's true, that somebody had felt the need that they have to run over DHS because they're so enraged over something, that's insane. And the fact that a human being lost their life, and that's not a good thing. But if they feel they're in harm's way, that's what they do. And this person is no longer with us. There's some actually closer footage, because there's I think one of the CNN people were on the ground filming. So I'm sure there's enough out there. And like I said, you've already made up your mind before you heard or even seen the video, most of you out there. Let us know what you think, though. And police officers, retired, otherwise, if you've seen the video, is that what you have done or not? Let us know. Love to hear from you. You can text the program. Bell, how do they text the program? I still don't know.
615-737-9986.
It's funny. Somebody said earlier, because we're talking about Taiwan and the chips, and somebody said, I don't need chips. I don't care if there was no chips in the world. It wouldn't matter to me. I'm like, you just text the show. You don't buy anything. You don't go anywhere. You don't watch television. You don't have an oven nowadays or a refrigerator.
Easy Bake.
Those are great. I got a light bulb on those ones. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
$1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers, we've got a crash in Antioch. This is 24 westbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway, and then a crash 40 eastbound right before Fessler's Lane. I can tell you this, that crash on 40 there is really backing up the East Loop downtown, and it's backed up going both directions there. Federal officials say an ICE officer shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis today after she allegedly tried to ram agents with her car. The incident happened near East 34th Street and Portland Avenue in the southern part of the city during what officials say was a targeted enforcement operation. Department of Homeland Security calls the act an attempt to weaponize a vehicle and labeled it domestic terrorism. The woman died at the scene, and the Department of Homeland Security says injured officers are expected to recover. The U.S. has seized 2 oil tankers that it says were linked to Venezuela. One tanker seized in the Caribbean. The U.S. military says it was under sanctions. The other vessel captured in the North Atlantic. U.S. military sources telling ABC News that it was not carrying oil. The U.S. has now seized 4 total oil tankers since last month. Meanwhile, in Washington, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Department of War Secretary Pete Hegseth were on Capitol Hill today to brief members of Congress on the U.S. strategy for Venezuela. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Secretary of State Rubio says the U.S. has already seen progress in its dealings with the post-Maduro government.
We feel like we're moving forward here in a very positive way.
He says the U.S. will use a naval quarantine and sanctions as leverage over Venezuelan oil.
They can't move it unless we allow it to move, because we have sanctions, because we're enforcing those sanctions.
To Democratic Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy, the administration intends to steal Venezuelan oil at gunpoint.
The scope and insanity of that plan is absolutely stunning.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Busy Bee wants to help you guys, right? You guys know winter's coming. We can pretend that it's not, but it's going to show up. So what's it bring? It's going to bring some cold. And yes, even some snow. It may not be this month, but it's definitely, we know we're going to get some of it. So what does that mean? You want to make sure you're ready. And they've got tons of deals, hot deals, warm deals, worry-free deals just for you. Let's say you're HVAC. You're going to get 0% financing, 18 months, complimentary UV light with any new unit install, and a free 5-year labor upgrade. That's a $750 value. When it comes to plumbing, same 0% financing, plus you get a free 50-gallon water heater with select repipes and or $600 off and not applicable, and $600 on a Halo filtration and softener combo. They got indoor air quality UV light. When you book one of these for your air duct cleaning, 15% off that. Service specials, $49 for multi-point furnace inspection, $250 off any smart auto home water shutoff. And that's for peace of mind, especially during the freezing time. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you call Busy Bee and find out how you can get a Beehive membership by buying one and getting one for free. What? 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833 or online at busybhvac.com. Busy Bee, your comfort, our mission. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. A lot of stuff going on. Again, we're keeping you abreast of the situation when it comes to what is happening in Minneapolis. DHS shot and killed somebody that they said that person was trying to run over an ICE agent. And it depends on who you're talking to. Again, I don't know what led up to it, but that person's no longer with us, dead. And the question now is, Jacob Fry, the mayor said it's BS. It wasn't self-defense. They wanted to. Other people, out there, a cop just texted in and said, two of them. One said, look, I didn't see the video, but if you try to run somebody over, you're going to get popped. But, Monday morning quarterback's easy. And I said, yeah. And another person said that they saw the videos. A cop said, there's no way that they should have fired. That you just step out of it. They weren't going fast enough. And if you see the video, they back up a few feet and then they try to open the door, get the person out of the car, and then the person takes off. But it's not like it tore out or something like that. And we still don't know anything about the DHS officer. Did they say, Ken, that they're going to check that they had injured officers?
They said that the 2 injured officers are going to be okay.
How are they injured? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. Because I mean, maybe somebody got run over and we didn't see it, but I didn't see that from any of the angles. So we will, keep you abreast of everything. Speaking of safety, we've been talking about CES, and I say this because this is a consumer electronics show. This is the stuff that people are going to buy. These are the things that we're going to be using in our future. When you talk about importance, let's be honest, as horrible as this was today, you're going about your business, you're listening to a radio show, right? It's the same thing. I mean, Venezuela, it sucks that money's going to these places and we're spending way too much money on stuff that we shouldn't be doing, but we care more about, what goes on in our life. And CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, this has all the stuff that we're going to be using. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of it's wacky. This right here, though, it's one of those things when you listen, you're like, man, why didn't I come up with that? This is the product I think I've seen is the most useful product there. And no, Bell, it is not a sex bot.
Now, this device is called the Timely, and it might look like a flashlight, which it is, but it also has an integrated camera and an SOS feature along with GPS. So if you're out walking your dog or whatever, you can just turn it on and use it as a flashlight. But if you have some trouble, you can hit the emergency button there. And what it's going to do is transmit to a dispatcher your location with the GPS. You'll be able to talk through it with two-way communication. And it uses a cellular connection for that. And it will also send the live video to the dispatch at the same time. So if you are finding yourself in a situation, you have a lot of information going to the dispatch service to get you help. Now, when it's in flashlight mode, it'll also record all the time. So even if you don't have an emergency, you do have a record of where you were walking in case something was going on. And, of course, they have an app that attaches to it. This is $299. You get a year of service with that. And then the subsequent years are $99 for the subscription per year.
So it is like having a Ring doorbell with your flashlight, which I find, I'm like, what a brilliant idea. That's one of those things you're like, man, I should have come up with that. So you go out, it's a real flashlight, it works. It films. If there is something that goes on, you can film it or not film. It's up to you. But if something's going on, it's also like the I've fallen and I can't get up. I forgot, what's the name of that damn thing? I've fallen and I can't get up. I've fallen. You can hit the emergency button. You're immediately contacting 911. And then what happens is it starts to film automatically. So if you are being attacked, no matter what it is, whether you've decided you wanted to pet a bear and now you find out that was a bad idea, or you're on a hike and somebody attacks you, it will film everything and give your location, which is great. The same guy, on the other hand, did wander over and see some of the bots, and what he said about the bots it made me laugh.
My follower.
Oh, hold on. That's your sex bot. Sorry about that there. That's Bell.
Now, this is a robot called an Agibot, and as you can see, it is built for agility. There's nothing holding it up here. It's balancing on its own two legs. Right now, it's doing a little calisthenics here. Earlier, there was another one that was doing martial arts that looked a little scary. So this might be the last thing you see before you die, but it's crazy how advanced these robots.
Absolutely.
So that bot's the last thing you see before you die. What's that mean? Eventually, it's going to go out on its own to decide it no longer needs you.
Well, you remember the video? I think it was in China.
Oh, yes.
That bot just, going haywire. And, had it connected with any of its, the arms and legs were flailing, had it connected with that one guy,
that guy was going to be in serious
him.
trouble. I mean, that guy, you're right. That guy was done for. And that wasn't even one of these Agi bots. These things were doing all kinds of stuff. It's interesting, some of the stuff. Some of the other stuff is, again, they've got the wacky stuff. The wallpaper, the new wallpaper television is less than a pencil width wide. And it's also wireless. And that includes electricity, which is fascinating. Just fascinating. So, but that whole flashlight that films and everybody's like, it's life alert. Yeah, the fallen I can't get up. That is exactly what this thing is. So when you're on a hike or you're just taking your dog out for whatever it is, you could immediately alert people to where you are, film it, and so that's a damn good thing. Because how many times do we hear about people getting attacked when they're on a run or on a hike or doing something, and it could just be a regular old flashlight, which is nuts, absolutely nuts. We've got people were chiming in. Some of you are saying, like some of the cops have chimed in. Several of you saying, I saw the video, and no, that person shouldn't have done what they did. You need to listen to the police. But 25 years, retired state trooper, 85, 59. From the one video I saw with narrative by the screaming woman, she was screaming some F-bombs. The officer had an uphill climb. However, they covered Ashley Babbitt's officer pretty well. It was yesterday. Didn't they do an anniversary walk or something yesterday for January 6th? And then the Democrats had a vigil for the police. It's weird. See, here's the weird world that we live in. So the January 6ers, right? They had like a memorial visual walk kind of thing. And that was all the Republicans. And then the Democrats, who everybody's like anti-police, they did one for the police officers. And what happened there that day? It's upside down land. It is. It's upside down land for sure. No, Ilhan Omar was not driving the car. Somebody said. Again, the videos that are out there of this shooting, there are several of them. It's hard to hide stuff anymore. It's hard to, because there is no doubt that the Ring doorbells everywhere were probably filming some of the stuff that went on there. How the lady got in the situation in the middle of, like, as Ken said, in a suburban middle-class neighborhood. Although snow makes everything kind of look middle class when it falls, and it's a lot of it. How that person got there, if it was a wrong turn, if they were there and tried to run police over earlier, I don't know any of that. We don't even know the name of the officer, and we have, at least as far as I know, we have no identification of the woman who was shot and killed. Christine Ohm said it was an act of domestic terrorism. And so we're going to find out if that's true or not. I couldn't tell you. But a horrible situation. There's no doubt. And I just, it's funny because several are like, well, you sound like you're CNN. No, what I am is I want to know the truth. I don't want to know the truth as I want it to be. I want to know the truth as it actually is.
Just hush and accept the narrative.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's one of the things I get frustrated with people who are so just in their echo chamber that they will take anything that one group says as its gospel. And they will not go, well, hold on a second. Is that the whole truth?
My team can't be wrong.
My team can't be wrong. I'm here to tell you, the teams, they're usually one and the same, and they lie to us. A perfect example of them lying to us and watching people flip around. Trump was supposed to be what? He's the president of peace, right? He wasn't going to invade anybody. We're not into regime change. So they went out and they do this thing in Venezuela, And what was it about? Can anybody remind me what was the original thought of this? This was about what?
Drugs.
All the fentanyl, of which is not mentioned anywhere because they don't release any fentanyl. It was about oil. It was about oil. And what does everybody say? They jump on the bandwagon. Oh, yeah, they're right. Even Megyn Kelly came out and said, she worked at Fox for a long time. I don't know if you guys saw what she said. She said, I would have been told, you've got to rah-rah and cheer this on. You have to. You have to cheer this situation on. No, I don't want to invade anywhere else. I don't want to spend any more money anywhere else. I don't think any of you do either. And it was about oil. And I told you guys for months, they're going to go in because they want the oil. And now we've got the oil. And we're running a country. And we didn't we didn't depose their leaders. No, we just traded one buffoon for probably a more competent woman that's willing to do business. Because Maduro is kind of, if you go and read some of the stuff, like he was like a bus driver, but he was part of the revolution. But no talk of drugs. I haven't heard anybody talking about drugs now? I'm waiting for them to come out and go, well, I got to tell you guys about Greenland. It's a lot of cocaine there. Did you see how white it is? That's all cocaine. They're trying to bring it here. It's snowballs. That's what they call them. They're snowballs. Kids are taking snowballs every day. Some of them do a thing called snow cone. Oh, it's a little different color. It's definitely dangerous. And there's people out there go, well, he's right. We got to go do that. So it's I implore you guys, look at all the facts and then make up your mind. Don't go to your favorite place that feeds you the same thing over and over again. Because if that's all you want, then again, we're not your show, as you guys know. Because we like fun. Speaking of fun, we're going to do a little White One Wednesday coming up here in a little bit next hour. Plus, and we've got some more good stuff. We got some lawsuits that are out there that are pretty spectacular, including what a football player is suing his ex-wife for what she said on a podcast, and now she's firing back. And I don't even know how to describe it. I'm going to do my best to describe this situation.
So they're not in love anymore?
Well, they're split up, and I don't think it was hateful split up by the sounds of it. In the original podcast, it wasn't that, but now it's become kind of. Well, you'll see. You'll see. You can reach out to us across all of our social media. Like and subscribe if you're on the old YouTube. We got One Hit Wonder next hour as well. This is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. All right, guys, I want to talk to you about Prize Picks, which is amazing. So Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app. And how it works is you pick players, not teams, based on their projected stats, more or less. Whether it's basketball and Steph Curry hitting, making more than 3.5 3-pointers in a game, or Josh Allen, right, taking on the mighty Trevor Lawrence over there. And is he going to throw for more than 250 yards in a game or more than 1.5 touchdowns? And that's how it goes. And the first time you play your first $5 lineup, so you pick 2 or more players, what you get is $50 instantly in lineups directly into your account, win or lose, after you play your first $5 lineup. It is that simple. They've got great things like injury reboots. You could stack now team-wide as far as players go on the same team. You can go hybrid, which is across sports. So many things you can do. Check it out. Sign up for yourself. Get that $50 in lineups free when you download the app and use my code Chad. That's Prize Pick. Download the app. Use code Chad to get $50 in lineups free when you play your first $5 lineups. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Drivers, we got a big problem going westbound on the East Loop. It is shut down near the Jefferson Street Bridge for a crash that appears to have involved a semi. And it is also impacting traffic going eastbound on the East Loop. It looks like this crash may be impacting the left lanes going eastbound. Everybody is getting over to the right going eastbound. So basically, the East Loop downtown going both directions is a parking lot. We got the very latest on that deadly confrontation in Minneapolis after an ICE officer fatally shot a woman. That coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Getting a lot of videos people are sending to me now. A lot of videos. I'm still trying to figure out who was hurt in this. The office.
Videos from CES?
Huh?
Videos from CES?
No, from the shooting.
Oh.
So this person sent me something and said, here's the best angle. The ICE shooting in Minneapolis, absolutely unnecessary. The victim is reported to be a legal observer and a U.S. citizen, for whatever that's worth. I have no idea. I don't know what any of that means or why that has any bearing in this situation. But there's videos everywhere out there. Another police officer who just texted in said, no, this was uncalled for. And then Bell, are you fixing somebody's garbage disposal?
Well, he texted us and said the drawer under his stove doesn't work, and he's having problems with the garbage disposal, making weird noises. And I just made the offer, and then he fires back and said, "I'll wait for the experts." I'm like, "Thanks."
Sure. Let's see here, Chris. Just text in 1100. Chad, I guess your answer is to let China and Russia get control of the oil in Venezuela and let them keep sending the drugs, cocaine and fentanyl. By the way, fentanyl there's no fentanyl there. That's a lie. You're being told a lie and you're buying into it. It's not even mentioned in the indictment. It's not. It's not mentioned in the indictment. This was never about that. China doesn't care. They get 3 to 5% of their oil from there. They're like, whatever. We'll go somewhere else. We'll burn more coal. We don't care. In Russia, and look, what? By the way, Trump's pals with the Pooter. I don't think he really cares what Russia does at this point in time over there. That has no bearing on us either at this point in time. So no, I think that's a lot of risk for look. No offense to us. We're great at doing the first part, right? But, Bell, what do we have trouble doing?
Sticking the landing.
Sticking the landing. We haven't been good at sticking the landing for a long time. And when everybody says, what about the fentanyl? If you care about the fentanyl, then you're going to go hard at China in other ways. But guess what China can do that we would be really screwed with? Pharmaceuticals. They could start to say, you guys aren't getting any more stuff to put your pharmaceuticals together, and that would be a real issue. Xi probably went, gives us an idea. Maybe we'll go after Taiwan. They don't care about Maduro. They're not like, oh, God, Maduro's taken. What are we going to do? Everybody's like, well, they could be over here. We're still the world's, you know what it is? It's like, there's 3 world powers. There's not. There's us and then the underbosses. But we've depleted ourselves in a lot of ways. And it was about the oil. And it was showing strength. So there you go. We got Maduro. But we didn't do anything. We didn't bring peace and happiness to them. We just left a worse person who's probably more competent. And next is Cuba. Cuba's going to fall apart soon, too. So we'll see how that goes. All right, coming up, hour number 3, we'll have more on what's going on in Minneapolis. We got some White Woman Wednesday coming up. And, oh, yeah, kids, One Hit Wonder Wednesday as well. It's all happening on this Wednesday. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And drivers, right now, it is a parking lot if you are east or westbound on the East Loop downtown. The issue is a crash that looks to involve a semi that has prompted authorities to completely shut down westbound 24 there, just to the west of the Jefferson Street Bridge. It is also impacting eastbound 24 there. Looks like everybody's having to get over to the right because some of the first responders are needing that far left lane there going eastbound in order to properly secure the scene there in the westbound lane. So basically just know right now, both directions of the East Loop downtown is a parking lot with westbound completely shut down. A deadly confrontation in Minneapolis, an ICE officer fatally shooting a woman accused of trying to run over federal agents. This happened during what officials say was a targeted enforcement operation. Department of Homeland Security says the officer acted in self-defense to protect himself and others. This is Secretary Kristi Noem.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
Well, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said he saw the video of the incident. He pushes back on claims that the ICE officer was acting in self-defense. He's claiming the officer acted recklessly.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people.
Mayor Frey demanding that ICE, quote, get the F out of Minneapolis. 2 Venezuelan-connected oil tankers now in U.S. custody following dramatic seizures at sea. The Marinera, a Russian-flagged ship, was taken after evading authorities for weeks, while the Sophia was stopped in the Caribbean without incident. Both vessels were allegedly moving sanctioned crude oil. The Pentagon calls the operation a clear message to networks skirting U.S. sanctions. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That's got an interesting text. Chaz. What's going on? Chaz. That's me. You really are effing stupid. We removed him, Maduro. We're going to control the oil things. How long have I been saying that? How many months, Bell?
I would say at least 4.
Yeah. And everybody else?
No, 5.
Yeah,
5.
you're a liar, Jen. You're stupid, Jen. So we're going to control the oil thing. But not in effing Chad's world, does it? Shut up, you effing lunatic, who is equal time hired by Dan. I have no idea what that is. For I don't know what reason. Tune into you, and then I listen to you effing stupidity, and then I switch channels. Good for you. Good. Go back to England. No, I'm not English. You're not the same mindset as us. So he's going with the us. You freaking idiot. Armchair quarterback is all you and you don't have the brain to know exactly what is happening. My brothers did a fine Dan job in the mission. Nobody said that. See,
people are searching for reasons to be offended.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. You were wrong about Minnesota voting. They can add 8 people the same day. When did we talk about Minnesota voting?
We haven't, that I recall.
Yeah, I didn't. I've talked very little, if anything, about Minnesota voting because I don't care. I don't. By the way, somebody just said, I hope we take... What's the name of the tanker we took? The Marinara?
Yeah.
Somebody wants us to take the Carbonara next.
No. That's silly. The next tanker you take is mozzarella sticks.
Yeah. It's... Oh, that's a good one. Man, I love mozzarella sticks. Oh, they're cheese sticks. You call them whatever the hell you want. All right. First of all, I've looked, and apparently when they turned it upside down, the pyramid today, we've actually made it an octagon. There's no mozzarella sticks on there. What would be on your food pyramid?
Steak.
Some
chicken.
Hamburgers. Macaroni and cheese.
No. Gross.
You don't like macaroni and cheese?
I've hated it since I was 4 years old when my father made me eat an entire dinner plate of it.
Oh, it's because you hate America? You want the terrorist to win.
I want the terrorist to win, yeah.
That's the favorite thing in the world. Is it because you want... it's because I want...
I hope Maduro's found not guilty.
Yes. There is a... now if China and Russia started building military bases... Nobody's building... We've got the military... We already have a military base. For all of you who don't know, in Greenland, we have a military base in Greenland.
Got one in Iceland?
Yeah.
Got one in Cuba?
We got them everywhere. We already have one. China is not building one there. Neither is Russia. Okay? If Trump cured cancer, would you say he did it for the oil? What does that have to do with anything? That's because you want the terrorists to win.
I'd say probably I would go old school Limp Bizkit and say he did it all for the nookie.
Did it for the nookie. The nookie. So you can do what with that cookie? You can put it in the... So, no, Trump cured cancer. That'd be awesome. By the way, Trump's not curing cancer. I can guarantee that. AI might cure some cancer. But Biden wasn't curing cancer.
He was just living with it.
He was just living with it. He was just wandering around. But he didn't know that. It's the beauty of that part of the day. You know, one of the things we were talking about CES earlier, that's a consumer electronics show. One of the other things, for people who are, and a lot of this year was about companions and not just for those, although there was a couple of them they showed. You're like, oh my God. The ladies, keep your whining, find out what happens. Because guess what? Some of these robots, guess what they do? Also dishes. So one of the big things for people of dementia who have animals, and you get to the point, and that's one of the things we talked about. Ken and I have talked about this the whole way that what's his name died, Gene Hackman, and those dogs. People have dementia. They don't know how to take care of their animals. They don't know how to take care of themselves. And they've got these dogs now that look real. They act real, but they don't need food because they're not. They're AI. And it is amazing. And they said how much it helps the people continue to be able to enjoy an animal without the worry of forgetting to have an animal. So, yes, Bill.
I didn't realize that I had a friend of mine whose mother died of Alzheimer's, and I didn't realize it until she explained it to me, because she had gotten the explanation from her doctor that as your memories are disappearing, that ends up going down into the autotonic part of your brain, and your brain literally forgets how to breathe and forgets how to send the signal to pump your heart. And it literally just is turning your body off a memory at a time.
Just one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. My grandmother, she died of it, and my grandfather had Huntington's disease, which was like Parkinson's and this together. And seeing human beings that become people that don't know anything about you. And it is tough. It is so brutal. And here's the thing too, as we get to our age, man, I've got a couple friends who are a little bit older than me, but like one of them, his wife has it and she's only like 60. And, my mother-in-law, she struggles a bit with her memory, and I think maybe not, but she's at the point too where we can't leave her alone. That's why my eldest daughter lives with her out in Arizona. It's a horrific thing. It really is. So we were talking earlier about what's going on in Minneapolis. Again, there's a lot of people there. Now, I don't know what is happening. There was an officer-involved shooting. Somebody was killed. They said it was an act of domestic terrorism. The mayor said it was BS. It was not. Several of you have chimed in and told me that I want the terrorists to win, the usual stuff like that, which is just ridiculous. And now there's a large crowd there. So it is, people are throwing things, but I can't tell who's an officer and who's not. But it looks like the crowd control is being brought in and people are looking. I feel like this is about to get super ugly. Would you agree?
Well, if police officers are now coming in, from what we understand, no police officers were involved in the ICE operations, but the police department would be brought in for crowd control, from what I understand. And right now, you've got, like, I'm watching right now, this crowd is throwing snowballs at what appear to be ICE vehicles. You've got agents backing up, backing off. But there is definitely, this crowd is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like it's about to get unruly. And we always talk about this. Once dark time hits, once the sun goes down, that's when the wackadoos come out. And it's weird, too, because normally we see these things in public spaces. This is just a regular street.
Yeah, this is a street corner where this happened. And again, the types of homes, what lends me to believe this is a middle-class neighborhood, it appears to be, 2- and 3-story homes that are lining this street, not apartments or apartment buildings or businesses. This looks like a middle-class neighborhood to me, probably what would be a routinely quiet neighborhood where this is happening.
Yeah, and it's I don't see DHS. All I see is the local police, which is another weird situation, right? So this was a DHS person, so that's federal, who shot a woman, and the local police there are now getting bombarded. When the police chief came out and said that this was not an attack, that this person should never have been shot. So it's kind of this weird.
Well, and plus, who handles the investigation?
That's a great question. That right there is a great question. Who does handle the investigation? Because it happened in Minneapolis, but it was a Fed that did it. I have a feeling, and I think we all recognize this, they'll figure out a way to make sure that it comes under the Fed's jurisdiction.
We investigated ourselves and found that we did nothing wrong.
There's a shocker.
Well, and that may be protocol. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
that crowd is growing, boys.
Yeah, and the anger is real. And there was already a crowd there today. That's why there's so many pictures and stuff of what took place, because DHS, as some people, they've ascended on Minneapolis because of all of the Somalis that are stealing gazillions of dollars. And so they were going to go sweep them all out of there and all of this stuff. And that's how this came to be. And then this woman, they said the DHS officer this was all self-defense because felt he was going to get run over and feared for his life. And here's the mayor, Jacob Fry, and what he had to say.
They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is this was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed.
That's how he feels about it. So it is, and there were, when I saw the latest, and there's, like I said, there's several videos, and because some of the news was there covering some of the incidents that were happening before any of this. I don't know how the woman got to that position. I don't know, because there was already a SUV in the middle of the street that she tried to drive around. I don't know how, if she ran through an area earlier, because we don't know any of that. We also don't know, and some people pointed out, what was going on in the car at the time.
Right. All I see in the video, I see an agent try to open the driver's side door. And it doesn't open, and then the car moves forward, and then that is when the other agent, it's almost point blank, fires through the windshield.
Yeah, one shot, but what I see is one shot through the windshield, and the window was open, and I think they fired a couple through the window as well.
Yeah.
Which at that time you would say, well, that person's pulling away, but then you could say, well, I was worried about other officers.
Yeah.
Although somebody just texted in, said, normally I am all about ICE, but this lady didn't need to be shot. All Fed shootings are investigated by the FBI.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yes, it does. So we'll see. Again, this and by tomorrow, and by the time Matt gets off the air, it'll have changed 3 different ways.
I got news for people in that neighborhood who are hoping for a quiet evening.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
That's probably why they're trying to get out of there and see if they can move the crowd to somewhere else.
Could be.
You know, because like you said, it looks like just a normal, everyday street, in middle America, and there is police activity, and now they're following. I saw the police drive away. I don't know if the people are following the police or now they're just wandering down the street trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
Which, again, what happens at night? The fools come out.
And I would think that kids will be getting home from school here soon.
Yeah, same. They're on the same time as us, so I'm assuming that it's probably in the next
hour or so.
Yeah, next hour.
Yeah, they're
or so.
Central Time.
Yeah,
they are Central Time.
So it's going to be interesting, and hopefully this is where the violence ends. But judging by the anger that I think some people have, and we know nothing about the lady or the DHS person. We know nothing about it. But I don't even know how many. Do you know how many shots were fired? Have they said?
I don't know if there's been any official, but it looks to me at least 3 shots were fired.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So too.
It looks like 3 shots.
Yeah. So we're going to keep watching this all day, and I have a feeling that the chances are that tonight there could be some could get a little spicy in old Minneapolis as well. All right, coming up, you guys have asked for more White Woman Wednesday. Of course, we got White Woman Wednesday, kids. We got a little bit of that, including our new jingle for the White Woman Wednesday, and yes, One Hit Wonder Wednesday as well. Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 99.7. All right, guys, Relief Factor is awesome. Let me tell you something about Relief Factor. Many of you out there, you guys hear me talk about it. I take it every single day. So does my wife. This stuff is amazing, but maybe you can be a part of it too. This is Kim's story. So Kim works all day. She's up, she's down, she's moving around. And as she gets older, like everything, sore, inflammation, body aches and pains. She says by the end of the day, she's struggling. And by the time she gets home, she plops on the couch. She starts taking Relief Factor. She says, all right, Hail Mary, I'm going to take it. In a couple weeks, the pain fades away. Her life has changed. She feels better at work, but she feels great at home, which is awesome. Why don't you try it? All right. It's a 3-week quick start. It's $19.95. It's less than a cup of coffee. It supports your body's natural inflammatory response. That's the aches and pains right there, which is, as you guys know, kicks you in the butt. Okay. 100% drug-free. resveratrol, omega-3 fatty acids, a whole bunch of stuff in this, and you take it every single day. So do this. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com, or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 1-800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor. Tell them Chad sent you.
All right, drivers, westbound 24, the East Loop downtown is still completely shut down just past the Jefferson Street Bridge. Eastbound 24 is now flowing a lot more smoothly. Earlier, they were actually having to move over to the right lane, but it's moving a lot smoother now. Looks like all lanes are open there. This is due to a crash, looks like involving a semi there over on the East Loop downtown. Got the deadly confrontation in Minneapolis. We'll tell you what we have learned coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did somebody say learn? You guys got to learn how racist and horrible. We do the work every single week, and the white women, they let us know.
It's 9 a.m. at the coffee bar. She's live streaming from her car. Fair trade, tote, bread, and UHD, telling workers what they ought to be. It's White Woman Wednesday.
That's right. The white women, in particular, Kylie and them, telling us that we are awful. The patriarchy.
Live streaming in her car at the coffee bar.
Of course. Telling everybody how they should be. They've got receipts.
She's stealing free. She's stealing free internet.
Yeah, she's still in free Wi-Fi.
As you do. As you guys understand, that's what they're all about, White Woman Wednesday. Where should we start? Okay, here's one for us. Kylie's going to tell us, basically, if you're white and you're raised white, well, racism. You know it. Come on now.
Most white people have the emotional intelligence of 5-year-olds. And that specifically extends to their knowledge of racism. So while people of color grew up experiencing racism and knew what it was before they could even articulate it, white people are intentionally sheltered and kept away from that. And because white people don't engage in conversations about race, they often perpetuate white supremacy even without knowing it. Because most white parents think that it's too disturbing for young white kids to learn about what their ancestors did to other people of color. That's why specifically my content, I cater towards towards white people because genuinely their knowledge of these things is so low. And it's hilarious because the essence of my content is, hey guys, it's bad to be racist. Like, don't do that. And here's why you shouldn't say the N-word. Here's the history behind the word. No, you actually can't say a slur even if other people say it because it's bad and it hurts people's feelings. Like, I'm basically just gentle parenting them on my channel, and that's what pisses white people off so much because even in the very watered down version that I present to them, they do not want to hear it. It's actually insane.
It's insane. You guys getting this?
And she's still talking like this.
Yeah, well, of course she is, because she just stole somebody's Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi stealer.
Are you guys getting this? Well, if you're not getting it, let's not forget the fact we got our girl Jess here, is also very white, and she's going to tell us about the evil patriarchy and how white women, you're a part of this.
Women like Caroline Levin and Erica Kirk will always choose their race over their gender. Because while patriarchy suppresses women, white supremacy protects and uplifts white women. And in every era of American history, white women have been rewarded more for racial loyalty than gender loyalty because of white supremacy. For example, white suffragettes argued that white women deserve the vote before black men. And a lot of suffrage organizations banned black women to avoid upsetting white male politicians. And while white women got the right to vote in 1920, black women did not get the right to vote until 1965 with the Voting Rights Act. Over the past few days, I've talked a lot about patriarchal bargaining. You can check out these videos for more. And while we all engage in some forms of patriarchal bargaining, I even mentioned how putting on makeup can be seen as a form of patriarchal bargaining. I want to be clear that we cannot talk about patriarchy without talking about white supremacy.
So you guys get that?
Yes.
So everybody, okay, write that down. Patriarchal bargaining.
Patriarchal bargaining.
It's the name of my new album. Pretty awesome because of the patriarchal stuff, all that thing. She's not done, kids. She's still got more for us.
Patriarchy and white supremacy are not separate systems. They actively play off each other and reinforce one another. And when racism and misogyny intersect, you get misogynoir, which is specific prejudice and hatred towards black women.
By the way, that's the name of my band, Massage Noir.
Yeah, and she spells patriarchal with 3 Ks.
Yes, absolutely. What? You know what? You're right. That's how you start and everybody's name who's white starts with the 3 Ks. When you go to school, reading, writing, and arithmetic, nope, K, K, and K if you're white. Patriarchal. My Lord. You people are nuts. But that's what we love. The great thing is she talks about makeup. Her entire shtick is the Get Ready Me With Me videos, where she sits there and she's putting on makeup, and she's not putting on cheap makeup, by the way. It's one of those things where she's going to lecture all of us about life while accepting all the benefits of what came from it. Yeah. Yeah.
But she's buying her carbon credits by, putting white people down.
No, that's how you buy your carbon credits. The more that you put white people down, the more carbon credits. I have so many. According to some of you, I have a ton of them. Oh, Lord. Ken, I'll have the latest on what's going on in Minneapolis, the shooting there today of a woman who law enforcement said, DHS said that the person threatened was a threat to him, and several shots were fired. How many? Could be 4, could be 5, could be 3, but she was killed.
We'll have KK Ken figured out.
KKK Ken. KKK Ken Weaver. He's not just the weather wizard. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Drivers westbound East Loop downtown is still completely shut down for that crash. However, going eastbound, moving a lot better now. You've got all the lanes open going eastbound, but it's still backed up because a lot of folks are stopping to take a look at all the pretty first responder lights, it looks like. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Deadly confrontation in Minneapolis. An ICE officer shot and killed a woman who allegedly used her car to attack law enforcement this morning. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the officer fired to save lives.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them.
Well, officials say injured officers are expected to make full recoveries, but they have not said how or what those injuries are. In a move, a major, that is, enforcement move, U.S. forces seized 2 tankers tied to Venezuela today. The Marinera, captured in the North Atlantic after allegedly changing its name and flag to avoid detection. The Sofia, intercepted in Caribbean waters, carrying millions of barrels of Venezuelan oil. Officials say these seizures underscore Washington's commitment to enforcing sanctions worldwide. And after a briefing of Congress, Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke to the press. He said the U.S. has already seen progress in its dealings with Venezuela since U.S. military captured and removed Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
We are in the midst right now and, in fact, about to execute on a deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela. They can't move it because of our quarantine and because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed.
And the Trump administration touting new dietary guidelines it says will promote better health and lower health care costs for Americans. The plan puts a larger emphasis on whole milk and cheese as well as red meats, and it steers funding for school lunch programs and SNAP. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Would you write this down? Painisbad.com or 615-246-5009. That's the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, the Wellness Institute of Nashville, they have done it again. All right, so we've already talked about the Hydrowave and all of these incredible things they have, but this is the new year, so how about a new you, and especially when it comes to your back. Right now, 2026 special, 47% off non-surgical decompression. What? That's old anxiety for you. And this is something that many of you know what happens when your back starts to go wacky, right? When that stuff starts to happen, you start thinking, oh my God, am I going to have surgery? Am I going to have to have injections? What's going to happen? Go see Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley. They're my doctors. They should be yours as well. So get over there. Take advantage of this special 47% off right now. Non-surgical spinal decompression. Check out the new Hydrowave. Start healing yourself and getting yourself moving right now. This thing is amazing, and they're going to make you feel incredible. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Or go to painisbad.com. Prize Pick is awesome. Right now, you can go on Prize Picks. They've got all kinds of great things they do. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app, but they've got all kinds of promos and great opportunities for you to win. You can win up 2,000 times your money. So this is how you play. It's players, not teams, okay? So you're picking players, kind of like fantasy football. So Kevin Durant, perfect example. More or less tonight, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Ooh, okay. Then you can go over here and you can do some football. And you can say, Caleb Williams, more or less 208.5 passing yards. There's a lineup set, 2 more players, and away you go. You win up to 2,000 times your money. Getting your money is easy. You can stack. They've even got injury reboots, and you can get several different things and opportunities in front of you. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today. When you use my code Chad, you're going to get $50 in lineups instantly right there. Win or lose after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Pick. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789. This is my favorite. You ready for this one, guys? Of course, old lefty Chad is sympathizing and minimizing the attempted murder that a woman obviously tried to commit by running over the ICE agent. What else is new? He's anti-American, with these anti-American liberals bashing everything President Trump says or does. That's why me and many others tune over from noon to 3, except for the fact that you were listening.
Yeah, take time to listen and then write in after you finish listening.
I haven't said anything about Trump today. I try not to talk about him unless there's something to talk about. I was talking about the oil and stuff because it was all a bunch of crap from Venezuela. It wasn't about the drugs. But I haven't said anything about that.
You know, Trump's valet never has to shine his shoes because he has so many bootlickers.
Oh, so many of them. I don't know how they do it. That's pretty amazing. Did you hear Lindsey Graham? Let me play the Lindsey Graham stuff, man. Talk about somebody, again, he'd love to invade anything but a woman. The neocons, what was it that Dave Smith said? No matter who you vote for at the end, you still get John McCain. Listen to this crap.
The transition in Venezuela. Very good for America, very good for the Venezuelan people. Who's in charge of Venezuela? Donald J. Trump. Now, people from the regime, the old regime, are helping us. We don't want to put a bunch of troops on the ground. So we got people from the old regime helping us rebuild the country to transition to democratic elections. There will be regime change in Venezuela through the ballot box. But who's in charge of Venezuela? Donald J. Trump. If you defy him, if you're one of the holdovers and you try to undercut him, what happened to Maduro is going to happen to you. But there'll be a day in the future when the country is ready for elections, free and fair, that will elect people that will be allies of the United States. The dictator, the thug, is in jail in New York. Donald J. Trump, in my view, is the greatest president of all time.
My God.
And then somebody held up the centerfold out of a Playboy and he went, ew, and ran away.
Ooh, was that a vagina? Now, he's not done. So listen to him. Talk about war. Well, he's not finished.
Cuba is on death watch. Cuba depends on Russia and Venezuela. Both of them are in a box. It's just a matter of time, and I mean a short time, to the communist dictatorship in Cuba that has oppressed their people since the mid-50s falls to be replaced with a democracy friendly to the United States. Cuba will be the Singapore of the region. To the people of Cuba, help is on the way. And finally, to the people of Iran, we stand with you tonight. We stand for you taking back your country from the Ayatollah, religious Nazi, who kills you and terrorizes the world. We pray for you. We support you. Donald J. Trump is not Barack Obama. He has your back. And to the Ayatollahs, you need to understand, if you keep killing your people who are demanding a better life, Donald J. Trump is going to kill you. Change is coming to Iran. It'll be the biggest change in the history of the Mideast to get rid of this Nazi regime. To the people of Iran, help is on the way.
My God. It's insane. That guy is, I don't know how much money he's getting from the war machine, but it's a lot. Man, at the end, it's just, let's keep doing it. Let's keep bombing, guys. Let's just take it. It's all ours. America. If yeah. That's so funny. All right, let's have some fun. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We do it every single week, and even this year we're doing it. By the way, Bell, yours, I was told, is actually in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know. Let's get to it.
Now it's time.
All right. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Bell's song that he dug deep for. The Guardians of the Galaxy.
You don't have to dig that deep for a top 15 hit, top 20 hit.
78? Is that what it is?
76.
76. And phenomenal year. Let's do it, Bell. What you got for us?
This is a song that was actually forced onto the band by their record label because their record label listened to their album and thought there are no hits on this record. Well, this song actually turned out to be a hit, peaking at number 16 on the Hot 100, and never did they have another one. So apparently, in this case, the label was right.
Silver.
Record this or else. Okay.
So wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We got a shang-a-lang, a ding-dong, dingy-dang, whatever it is.
For a song that sounds like it's trying to sound about sex, it sure talks about love a lot.
What is the rest of Silver sound like? Were they a little bit harder than that?
To be honest, I've never bothered listening to any of the rest of the record.
Man, it's a cool name, though, Silver. Silver. I'm Palladium. What's your name? Silver. That's a good name for a band. So that is Silver. That's the one hit. That was it. They were done after that. Nothing else mattered. Gone. I don't even know if they're still alive. Silver, out. What? That's right. Got that one hit. That's all good. Something you can always tell your kids. Got that one hit. All right. What you got for us, Mr. Ken? Oh, yeah. It was. Listen to that.
And what was her follow-up? I got no T-shirt and panties.
That's a good one. Yeah. Goodness me. Yeah, 90s R&B was something special. She does. Well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the fact that we can even play this song is pretty crazy. It does. Maybe it flows. Now, for me, I went to the magical world of the 80s. 1987.
Yes, sir.
It was released 3 times between 87 and 88. Finally charted in Britain, got to number 3. Here it got to number 23, I think. It wasn't anything spectacular. But this song is one of those songs that it's stayed forever. And any movie from the 80s, you'll see it played over and over again. Commercials, anything retro. And this band is the number 1 band in polls where people recognize the song and they have no idea who the band is. The band was supposed to be called Spencer Tracy, but there was a guy named Spencer Tracy, so they came up really quick with Danny Wilson, which was a character in a Frank Sinatra movie. The name of the band, Danny Wilson. The song, Mary's Prayer. But I could care less. The song is about not lost love, even though they're thinking about Mary. It's about the fact that you focus on a lot of stuff that doesn't matter, and you forget about things that go on in life that are sitting around you because you don't pay attention. And this is somebody who finds out, oh, my goodness, Mary's totally cool, and she's getting married. Well, God bless you, Mary. Good luck to that. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And you can hear this song. Every time I hear it come on, I just think of John Cusack running through an airport.
Some John Hughes movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
I mean, this song it's like every 80s song. The 80s had its own flow and its own tone, especially from the artists from Europe. It just has its own sound.
So it does. It does. The 80s had the earwig. And when the guy put the song together, he came up with all of the lyrics except for the hook. And he happened to be watching Top of the Pops, and Karma Chameleon came on, the Culture Club. And he picked up his guitar and he wrote the rest of it. And the rest of it is history. They broke up. And the reason they said they broke up is diminishing returns. They'd gone as far as they could. There was no animosity. They've gotten together a couple times, but still one of the great songs. Mary's Prayer right there. My one-hit wonder. You guys can always submit your one-hit wonders to us. We do it every Wednesday. So make sure you get that to us. Coming up, Matt will be here. He'll have the latest take on, I'm sure, what is going on in Minneapolis. Governor Walz is speaking now. He's angry, he said.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No, he's not. He's not happy at all. And neither is Jacob Fry. The people on the right, people on the left, everybody's made this about politics, and everybody's, they come out and nobody wants to know the truth. You didn't need to see the video. You just needed to hear what happened, and you could make up your own mind as far as how you wanted it to go. Yes, Ben.
None of this would have happened if they had more available daycare.
Oh, yes.
That was the problem.
From the Leering Center.
Leering Center.
You don't want to be leering. My kids are going, and they're leering every single day. Matt, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Is Matt here today? I didn't see him. Normally he wanders in here. I have not seen him. So Governor Walz telling
It's
everybody.
Cameron today. Cameron Smith. Matt's closing on his house.
Oh, you know what? Enough with that. Just enough with your house, okay? Says he's going to have a party there.
All right.
Pretty excited about that.
It's right in view of Key West.
Oh, that's right.
It's so far south.
Is it?
It's south of Columbia.
Oh, I didn't know how far away it was.
Yeah.
You know,
He's
because
got like an hour drive to work each day now.
Yeah, but you know, an hour drive could still mean you're realistically only 15 miles away, and it could be an hour depending on when you come in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I didn't know how far out. So he's, man, he's
about an hour away.
But he got a big ass house.
Yeah, he did.
For what would have cost him a lot more money up here.
That's right.
Yeah, it would have been millions. Billions.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, that's a big. He was telling me the other day because we're gonna have to get. I said it's one of those things where it's so big he's gonna have to take furniture from room to room.
Yeah.
Come on, kids, pick up the furniture. We're going to the other room because we don't have enough. We don't. Tim Walz doing everything he can to tell everybody, calm down. Do not do it. Calm down. Calm down. Just stop it. Because I think he knows what might be coming. People are ready to freak out. Here's the thing, though. It's winter.
Yeah.
See, summer people are pissed and angry. It's
Right.
nice outside. The heat can do something to you. The cold changes a lot of people's mind when it starts to dip.
Yes, especially in Minnesota. Let me see what the
Yeah,
low's
that's
gonna
not
be in
cold.
Minnesota.
That's freezing.
Yeah, well, it's killer cold.
Yeah.
All right, let me look up Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
You're looking for the current temperature?
Yeah, well, the current temperature in the Twin Cities, not bad, 42 degrees.
Oh, my.
Tonight, it's going to get down to 27. So that's cold. It's not as cold as it can get
No,
there.
not Minneapolis. That's for sure.
But that's still cold.
I mean, the cold, just if you guys haven't seen, it's cold enough that there's snow on the ground and it doesn't look to be melting.
Right. Yeah, it's melting off the roads, but they've been treated.
So a lot of people want to know if they can come to the housewarming party. Absolutely.
We'll give you directions.
That's it. He's going to be excited about it.
Why don't we just give him Matt's phone number and then he can give them the
You know what? You're
directions.
absolutely 555.
We can get away with that because he gives his own phone number out.
Oh.
Does he?
Yeah, he gives his cell phone number out.
To
It's
people?
even on his Facebook page.
Oh, there you guys go. Well, there you go. So you can go do that. You know, it's just closing. I said, dude, when are you moving in? He says, it's going to be a while because they got to do stuff, you know, because you get that house and then the wife wants to buy stuff and it's mid-century modern.
Well, I've been where he lives now, and it's nowhere near as big as what he's getting. So there's definitely going to be some shopping done to get extra furniture. Or he's going to have a lot of blank floor space.
Well, get ready for that, kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said it was going to be. It takes a while to furnish this place. I'm pumped though. I'm pretty excited. Can't wait to see it. That's the kind of place because my wife gives me a dirty look last night because my friend sent me something. Goes, dude, you want a porcupine? I'm like, yeah,
absolutely,
100%.
Fritz
Not
wouldn't
just
like
a
a porcupine.
Not just a porcupine, an African
yeah,
porcupine.
crested porcupine.
Those things are big.
Yeah, they get about 50 to 60 pounds, and they're big. They're rodents. Ooh. And they're very. He's got an adult. He's got little ones too, and he's got babies. And I'm like, yeah, I could. My wife's like, no. And I'm like, you know what? You're a fun ruiner. It's what you are. You're a fun ruiner. Man, how cool it is, man, to go with my capybaras.
Oh man, I'd love to have those.
Fritz would love a capybara. He could ride around on it.
Unfortunately, no. Fritz would be mean to them, dude.
You know what?
Fritz, he doesn't want any competition.
Is he mean to everything?
He is very particular about other dogs. Like, he tends to like dogs that are about his size, but if they're taller, he is real skittish. That's why I had to stop taking him to the dog park.
He just gets threatened?
Yeah, he was just snapping at bigger dogs. They really weren't doing anything. Now, there was one dog, there was a bulldog, an English bulldog. My neighbor across the street has tried to mount him one time. Fritz didn't like that. He turned around and bit the English bulldog, and the English bulldog ran away with Fritz right on his ass. That was pretty funny. Everybody got a kick out of it.
Don't mess with Fritz.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to mount him either.
No, you don't. All right, guys. Lots of news, obviously, today. Shooting in Minneapolis. DHS ICE officer shot and killed a woman. And now the battle of narratives begins. Cameron's in for Matt. We'll do it again tomorrow.